Today I'm talking about a project we're conducting at Museums Victoria, looking at the diversity and spatial distribution of reptiles and arthropods in the Little Desert National Park of Western Victoria. And in particular, we're looking at the fire history and management of the region and how it impacts these species. I'm Jane Melville, and this research is also being conducted by Dr. Claire McLean, Joanna Sumner and Ken Walker at Museums Victoria. We're looking at the diversity and spatial distribution of reptiles, frogs and terrestrial invertebrates. This work started in 2019 as part of the Bush Blitz Biodiversity Survey and is continuing over the next 3 years, supported by the Ian Potter Foundation, where we're specifically looking at fire history and fire management on these species. This is a map of the fire history of the Little Desert National Park, and as you can see, it's a complex mosaic of fire histories, from the dark red here, which are the very recent fires, through to the pale orange, which are areas that have been burnt up to 30 years ago. There are also white areas in amongst here, and these are areas that have not been burnt in the last 30 years. And we selected an area within the national park here in the northern central block to focus our area of study. We chose this because we're also doing surveys on the neighbouring privately owned conservation areas. And then also within the national park, there is a range of fires in this area, from recently burnt through to unburnt in the last 30 years. When we're out in the field, we conduct a range of survey techniques, including pitfall trapping. In 2019, with the Bush Blitz survey, we used some already installed pitfall traps in the national park, and we also installed a number of other pitfall lines at different sites, including on the privately owned conservation lands. In addition to pitfall trapping, we're using direct searching and hand capture of both reptiles and invertebrates. This includes noosing for some lizard species, such as dragon lizards, hand catching some of the larger lizards, such as goannas. Then for invertebrates, we're using beating sheets, pictured here in the centre, net sweeping for a number of different invertebrate species, leaf litter collection, and light sheets for nocturnal species, photographed down the bottom here. Just a couple of slides summarising some of our results. For reptiles, we've captured 18 species. Now this includes the data from the 2019 Bush Blitz surveys, and also just in the last couple of weeks we've returned from a 10-day survey. This is a survey that was delayed from spring 2020 due to lockdowns. But of these 18 species, we've gotten a range of reptiles, including dragon lizards, geckos, goannas, snakes, and here's a small legless lizard that's a near threatened species, and skinks. Skinks have been the most diverse and numerous of the groups we've been surveying, and so far we've captured 7 skink species. In contrast, we've recorded more than 500 invertebrate species. This is across a wide range of taxonomic groups, including both flying and terrestrial insects, snails, and arachnids. For this research on fire, we're particularly focusing on ground-dwelling species, in particular the ground-dwelling beetles, spiders and scorpions. And this is because we predict that it's the ground-dwelling invertebrate species, due to their lack of mobility, like their flying counterparts, are going to be more impacted by the effects of fire in the area. In addition to this, we're also looking at the presence of new species, and since 2019 we've described 12 new species of invertebrates, which are 2 bees, a moth, a snail and 8 spiders. This includes this little desert peacock spider here, pictured in the top centre, which is a new species. And over time, over the 3 years of the project, we're going to build up a huge database of both reptile and invertebrate diversity, and then we can look at the impacts of fire across this region. Thank you.